Hello, welcome, Queen. I don't feel like we have, if you're still here, I don't know who all's here. But anyway, we do have a lot to go over with Lori. And I do want to touch on Jacob Meisner real quick. Different things happening in the courtroom today. So, fortunately, it looks like Lori's not going to get her way, I hope. But not for lack of trying, that's for sure. Hey, Mar. Good to see you. Yeah. I will say I thought about going down there today to the court, but it didn't look like there was going to be room with all the jurors in there. And it looks like, I guess, Lori is sick, maybe. So they stopped jury selection this afternoon. And we'll resume that on Monday morning. Not sure how all that's going to work with, that's how, the opening statements were supposed to start Monday. I guess that'll start later in the day or Tuesday or whatever. So another thing, I just, real quick, Mama's the Boss, her daughter was going into labor yesterday. Okay, I just heard. Okay, her contraction started, but she's not in labor yet. But so could have a grandbaby soon. Mama's the boss. So everybody be praying for that all to come out well and have a beautiful baby, healthy baby. But okay, so first of all, Jacob Meisner is another one of the defendants in the Preston Lord case. And so we know that William Hines took a plea deal. He was sentenced last month to 12 years. I really wondered if that would, entice any of the others to do that. There's still 6 defendants. That trial starts next month. And because they're looking at life, and he got 12 years with the plea deal. So apparently Jacob Meisner was in court today. He is a minor. They're all being tried as adults. He is a minor, but he did not accept the plea deal. He did not accept that. The judge told him he would be looking at anywhere from 7 to 21 years with the plea deal. He did not accept it. He said he believed that he would not be found guilty. And the prosecution said they believe that they have the evidence that will show that he is guilty. So he does have another settlement hearing scheduled for June 20th. I don't know what will come of that, but at this point, he's not wanting to take a deal. So there's that. Hello, Justice Jane. Good to see you. So when I heard he was going into court, I was anxious to hear what was happening because I thought they might all end up kind of slowly doing that, and they might still, who knows. But anyway, so that is that. 17 years old. He is a minor. So it's weird that they are being tried as adults, it's still kind of hard to find information sometimes because he's a minor. In fact, when I try to look him up, it actually comes up, it just says minor, minor. So it's not all that easy to get that stuff, yet it is all over the news. So anyway, so when it comes to Lori, wow, you guys, I don't even know what to say. Like, the patience of Judge Bresky is amazing, because I don't know how anyone can tolerate this woman. And really, his hands are tied. Like, even if he were to charge her with contempt, what does that mean? She's already incarcerated. She's not really, there's not, I don't think that would even really mean anything, but so frustrating that her behavior just this last, week has just escalated. And I think it's kind of giving us a sign of what kind of crap is going to go on in this next trial. Because she really can't handle not being in charge of anything. Yes, exactly. Me too. Me too, Justin. I'm glad it is too. I mean, I really do think that Brandon has a right for this. He does. This stuff happened to him. It did. And he deserves it, but God, I'm tired of her. I am so tired of her. Hey, Beck. Hey, hello. May justice continue. Yes. No, you're right. Brandon does deserve to get justice. He does. And he was so instrumental in pushing for all this when the kids were missing, and for Charles, that not being a self-defense. And can you imagine, him and his kids had to go in hiding because they very clearly were trying to kill him. I mean, that's so scary. And I'm going to never understand, if nothing happens to Melanie Pulaski, that's just going to continue to piss me off. She's horrible. Oh, I love that. Will you send me a picture? Oh, so cute. Hey, Kentucky woman. I love it. Um, so you guys know that we know that she actually asked Judge Boreski to recuse himself. He said no. And so she filed him paperwork, and so another judge had to hear that. Hey, try me. So yesterday, it was a very quick, nobody really knew it was happening, but they had a quick hearing before they started. They started yesterday going over the questionnaires from potential jurors, and they did a real quick hearing. So we'll check that one out really quick. And then the fireworks really began after that. So that woman is so something else, I gotta tell you. This, I believe, is with Judge Green. We'll see. Hey, I wonder real quick. Hold on one second. Okay, sorry about that. I know Jerry's been wanting this stuff, and I realize I don't see her in here. So I wanted to let her know really quick. Because, yeah, this girl is... It'll be so nice to have this done and her have to just be locked back up and not be able to keep this crap up. Because she's going to take advantage of every time she gets some to get attention. Hey, Queen. When does the trial begin? Well, it's supposed to start Monday. But today they had started questioning the jurors, and it sounds like what happened is Lori got sick, so they stopped it for the day. And hey, Panda. So they're going to resume that on Monday. So I don't know how that's going to work. It's just going to delay, I think, the trial, but probably not by much. I thought she might have thrown some kind of fit in there because she has, for the way she was yesterday, I thought that might have happened again. So, and apparently, judge has decided to address her motions and things in writing only. That's what the word is this morning. Going back and forth with her, just, well, you guys will see. You'll see. It's so gross, so irritating. But this is right here is the hearing that another judge had to go over for the motion to have Judge Boreski removed from the case. So.
CR 2022-00124201. This is State versus Lori Daybell. Appearances, please.
Attorney Kay on behalf of the state, and for the record, the victim is appearing virtually.
Thank you.
Lori Daybell for the defense.
And Pamela Hicks, advisory counsel.
Thank you. There was this got set very quickly. There was a media request that I became aware of in passing, literally on my way over here. I don't have a written request. I have not read all my email because I've been on the bench this morning. Do you want to make a record with regards to the media request from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, from the defense?
No, I have a big feeling, Queen, that that's exactly what it is, right? She was something else, wasn't she? Hey, Tough. Oh, my goodness. Thank you, Try Me. Wow. Oh, you are amazing. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Oh, my goodness. You are a sweetheart. I very much appreciate you just being here. You know that, right? You do know that. Oh, you are awesome. Thank you. I love you too. That gets me. I do appreciate you so, so much. Hey, Sicilian. Oh, hello, Mr. Snotty. No, I am afraid of it though. I'm kind of thinking that she is really going to show her ass. This is it for her. She's not going to have another time to do this. Oh. And you guys, I meant to go down. I was going to go down there today, but they did say there was only 14 places for 14 spots, and that was pretty much going to be for credentialed media. So I didn't, but I was going to. Thank you, Try Me.
Okay. I don't see anyone here. I thought we would address it on the record, but I don't see anyone present from the media. Okay. I assume there's no objection if they come in. Ms. Kay,
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Daybell.
I always object to them, yes,
Oh, you object to them?
always.
Okay. Is there anything you wanted to put on the record?
No.
All right. My thought is if they come in.
How do you like that? I always object to them. That is such crap. She would lose her mind if this shit wasn't being streamed. I know. Of course she objects, but she does not. She freaking loves it. Because I just have got to be like that rash on everybody's ass. They just have to irritate and pick and God.
And we can address it. All right. The court's, this is the oral argument on Ms. Daybell's motion for change of judge for cause. The court's in receipt of and has reviewed motion to disqualify judge. This was filed on May 20th, and the state's response to defendant's motion to disqualify judge. Ms. Daybell, I've read your motion. In summary, the way I read it, you're asking for the court to remove Judge Boreski for cause under Rule 10.1. You cite several reasons, specifically that he's denied various motions. You mentioned facial expressions. You mentioned a belt and his not allowing you to remove it. You assert that he violated your speedy trial. There's a mention of religious persecution and an allegation of personal bias. So you're going to get, and then the state's response is that simply that the defendant does not establish judicial bias, appearance of bias, or fundamental error. Of course, under Rule 10.1, the court is evaluating whether or not Judge Boreski can be fair and impartial and whether he can conduct a fair and impartial trial in this matter. So I'm aware of the allegations. You'll have the opportunity to go first, then I'll allow the state and to address the court, and then you'll have the last word. Whenever you're ready, Ms. Daybell.
Okay. I did file this motion in this.
I'm sorry, can you pull the microphone?
Sorry. I did file this motion in this affidavit after several attempts to, I made an oral motion with Judge Boreski and asked him to recuse himself because of the bias and prejudice that I had seen during our last trial and throughout the whole entire time that he has been the judge over all of these cases. And he refused to do so. So I thought I needed to put it in writing and put all my points in that I felt like were causing him to be biased and prejudiced against me, and that obviously you've read it, so you've seen all the different things that I put. There was an actual comment during trial when I was cross-examining one of the witnesses where he said to me directly after an objection from the state that I was comparing myself to biblical prophets, which I absolutely was not doing. And I didn't even realize it until someone showed it to me on the FTR afterwards that he had even said that, because I was in the middle of questioning the witness. And
Yeah, that's exactly right. Hey, Top Hats, that's exactly right. Yeah, I cannot wait for that either, Try Me. But that's it. I'm pissed off because I haven't been able to flirt my way into this or, to run this. And, the only reason she's talking about that, he brought that up himself. She never even brought it up. Oh my God. She makes me crazy. And that damn belt. I swear I cannot. She keeps on and on and on talking about how the sheriff's department has recommended she not wear it. They did not recommend that. And second, like the judge said, it doesn't even matter if they did. It's not up to them. He has said she's going to wear the belt. She is fired the fuck up about that belt. She does not want to wear it. You know why? Because she can't look as cute as she wants with that belt on. That's all that is. Nobody thinks you're cute. You are a freaking killer. Nobody's attracted to a psychopathic killer. If they are, they're fucking crazy too. That's what it's about. I swear it is. Hey, Debbie.
So there's several times that he made comments directly to me. I tried to address this with him directly in our last hearing on May 14th, where I asked him why he had denied every single motion that I had ever filed in the last year and a half. And he said that my motions had no merit. I asked him if my prior defense team, that he denied all of their motions, that they had no merit as well. And then I asked him, my prior defense team before that, all the motions they filed were denied, and did they have no merit at all either? And I asked him again if he would recuse himself from this case so that I could get a judge that was impartial and fair and have a fair trial. That is my right, my 6th Amendment right and my 14th Amendment right to have a fair trial, an impartial trial, and not a judge who has some kind of bias against me.
All right, anything else? Thank you.
Judge, just the prior defense motions almost all exclusively dealt with motions to preclude the media. Judge Boreski applied the appropriate law in finding that the media had a right to be present and tried to limit it by saying things like they couldn't focus on the defendant's papers or things like that to mitigate any of the concerns by the defendant. All of the defendant's motions that she has filed have been without legal basis. They've been appropriately ruled on, and the state's motions that the state has won have been ruled on based upon, again, legal basis. So the fact, as the court is well aware, that the defendant has had all of the motions ruled against has no basis for bias if they're all been ruled on based upon the rules of law and the rules of evidence. So we see nothing that the defendant has provided here that would rise to a level to preclude or recuse Judge Boreski from this case.
Thank you. Ms. Dable, you can have the last word.
Yes, also, along those lines, Your Honor, that's one thing that I asked Judge Boreski, is that he has denied all these motions with no finding of fact and no conclusion of law. I said, what is the finding of fact and conclusion of law? These are just denied, 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 denied. He's also denied several attempts for me to try to ask the state for discovery that he's just denied outright. And then as I keep filing more and more, as I find out what we don't have and I ask for it, I'm continually, even to last week, getting brand new discovery with brand new Bates numbers, stuff that they realized they never even had before that hadn't been turned over. And I've been asking Judge Boreski for these items for a year and a half. And I'm getting them 1 week before trial. We start picking our jury today. We're supposed to be doing our strikes today. And along those lines, I had this motion about the RAC belt that I had asked him about since we went through this whole trial, and there was times when the belt didn't fit around me, so it fell out of my clothing, and we had to stop trial, and I had to go fix it. And that is what MCSO.
That happened one time, and guess what? Nobody knew about it. Nobody in the gallery, nobody knew it. We watched it. I was in the courtroom sometimes. Nobody knew that even happened. Even the jurors were asked afterwards. They never knew that it happened. And the way she's acting like it was a big dramatic ordeal, it wasn't, because nobody knew it happened. So it wasn't that big of a deal. And secondly, too, bad. You're not wearing shackles and handcuffs, and you're not wearing an orange outfit. Oh my God. Right. No, you're wearing the belt. That's just something that I feel like You're not allowed to just do whatever the hell you want. You're a convicted killer. Good Lord. Listening to that, oh, she makes me freaking so mad.
Recommended that if that was
No, they didn't.
too burdensome, that they would put an armed guard in the back. And because of the media that Judge Bresky has let into every single one of the hearings and the trial, that they already have an armed guard back there. So it wasn't going to cost the state any more money. It wasn't going to cost anything if he just had them remove the belt and went over the security that the MCSO actually recommended. Every single thing that I asked for has been denied. I feel like he does have a personal bias against me. And all I'm asking for, I went through a whole trial with him, even thinking he was biased against me before the trial started.
Okay, we should, first of all, okay, everything about this is burdensome. Belt, no belt. You're having to be transported back and forth every day. Be treated like a damn attorney of some kind. It's burdensome, you know? And to think, actually, do you think that there's a single person that doesn't have a bias against a mother who has killed her children? Yeah, there is some bias. I'm pretty sure there is bias. I damn sure got bias. But he has been so much more than patient with her. It's beyond even belief, honestly, if you ask me. He has been so good with her. Better to her than I want him to be. But for one thing, he doesn't need to be recused at all. That should not happen. More than anything, though, she doesn't get to, if she gets her way, it's going to set me off in so many ways I can't even. I do too. I despise her. I do. Nobody likes you. You killed your kids, you psycho. What do you, nobody likes you. Hey, legs. Oh my God. It's so frustrating. I swear I want to. Good reason I couldn't never be the judge here. I would be.
I filed for a new motion because it came to our attention through the media. The media sent Judge Boreski a clip of one of the jurors saying that he found out about my prior convictions beforehand, before his deliberations. And this is the same exact juror who was brought in twice during trial by Judge Boreski, where he had to admonish him for, one, being on his phone, and two, talking to one of the other jurors about the case. And now he's saying, well, he went on another media thing and said that he took it back. He took back what he said. So I'm not going to give you a new trial, and nothing was done about it. He refused to call them in and have a hearing and put him on the stand under oath and ask him if he found out this information prior to deliberations. It was very confusing, and everything is just outright denied. I want to go to trial. I want to have a fair trial, as fair as possible. I don't feel like I can do that with Judge Boreski, and I would like to be appointed a new judge who wouldn't know anything about the case and be fair and as impartial as possible.
Right.
Thank you.
Right, Tom. Right.
Thank you. I've considered the written motion and the response, and certainly your comments today from both sides. Ms. Daybell, I find that the fact that you disagree with Judge Boreski's substantive legal rulings is not a valid basis under Rule 10.1 to grant your motion and give you a new judge. The standard in 10.1 is, has he demonstrated he can't be fair and impartial? And the fact that his rulings have not gone your way is not a valid basis to suggest that he can't be fair and impartial. unless there's some other allegation of bias that's been demonstrated. I don't find on this record that it has been demonstrated. I certainly understand your frustration with the way that the rulings have come out, and it sounds like the way that they came out with prior counsel. But the things that you have cycled through at length in your motion to disqualify, I've considered all of them. Whether or not he should have ruled differently, for example, the example you gave with the juror, or with making findings of fact and conclusions of law in writing, some of the issues you have. If you have concerns about his substantive legal rulings, you can file a motion to reconsider, or you can take them up on appeal. You can file a special action. You have a number of legal remedies at your disposal where you can make those arguments, but they're not grounds under Rule 10.1 to get a new judge. So I am going to deny your motion. Again, as for your concern about his substantive legal rulings, you can address those concerns in a different way, but it would not be under a 10.1 and on this.
Okay, yeah. So just because you don't like it, just because he hasn't done what you wanted, thank you, because that's exactly what this is all about. He doesn't think I'm cute. He's not ruling the way I want him to. So, yeah, no, I love that. I loved that response so much. That's exactly right. She just thinks this is what she's done her whole life. She's manipulated and done shit her whole life. And people have done what she wanted. Shut up already. I know. They did say that Brandon was in there, or he was appearing through Zoom or virtually or whatever. She does. That belt. So there, what we've been able to figure out, because in the next one, you guys, seriously, she does act like, she goes up a notch. She goes big time up a notch. But it's been pretty easy to figure out the things that she really does not want to happen. She's doing everything she can to stop certain things. My opinion is, first, she doesn't want that belt on, and it's all about her trying to have a certain look. Because remember how we noticed that her clothes look big on her. She doesn't like that, but that's the only way to hide the belt. Too bad. So what? Nobody else likes the fact that you killed your kids. Shit happens that people don't like. Too bad. Yeah, the entitlement. It's but that, and she doesn't want any victim to be able to address her. That is abundantly clear. And I think that's really sad. They should be allowed to address her. But she hasn't had to deal with that. So she should be feeling lucky about that part of it. So let's see. Let me see if we're in the right. Yeah, she gets so feisty with Boreski. Oh my God. Exactly. Right. The belt is not working with the outfit. That's exactly right. I would love it if she would have to wear the shackles. Okay, let me make sure. So this was the pre-trial hearing. This was after the last hearing that we just watched, that she is not, that the judge is staying. Call it fashion plea. Right. It's appalling. The fact that anything that she thinks she can do, it's just amazing. So this gets really heated. Let's see here. This is where I don't know how people exercise control on this.
Which is the 13.5 hearing. So we need to have a probable cause hearing so that we can add that to the guilt phase, and that's something that gets taken to the jury after probable cause has been found for these aggravators that are alleged.
I think you're referring to the rules for capital cases when there's aggravators filed in death penalty cases.
Correct.
You're entitled to a probable cause hearing depending on the aggravator. This is not a capital case.
I know it's not a capital case, and in normal capital cases, you don't have an aggravation phase either, right? Only in a capital case.
Actually, you have a guilt phase, and then you have a mitigation aggravation phase.
Actually, I have a guilt phase, an aggravation phase, and a penalty phase.
Right.
If the aggravators aren't found as a completely separate independent hearing, then there's no penalty phase.
So with this,
Right, Queen? Seriously. Yeah, if anxiety is something that is a problem for you, yeah. Because I do believe that this is what is getting ready to happen in this trial. Well, that's just it, Kentucky woman. You know, she acts like we don't have to just, people, that she's not a convicted killer. I mean, geez. Yep. It gets bad. And the fact that you cannot explain anything to her. Like, oh my God, it's frustrating. I think she is, Kentucky. I think she is. I think she's going to really show her ass. I think it is. Oh my God. Wonder if you slip a 20 in the person who could. Yeah, right? I know, Top Hat. Seriously. I've thought that too. Just talk that person into just accidentally. That's funny.
statute for this charge only being the one statute, what are you getting out of the aggravation phase? I don't understand.
Well, first of all, the jury in the initial phase doesn't determine whether or not it's a dangerous felony, which they need to find. And then the aggravators, I think the state has a right to attempt to prove those to the jury, to offset any mitigation or to be weighed against mitigation at your sentencing.
And isn't that normally put together with the guilt phase? Like they would have that on the back page where it says the aggravators and the guilt?
No.
So are we going to have a whole nother aggravator phase in this case?
If the jury finds you guilty of the charge and the state wants to proceed with aggravators, yes.
Right.
And so we do not have to have a hearing
Yep.
to determine if there's probable cause for these aggravators?
No,
They're just alleged aggravators.
correct,
And the grand jury never found probable cause for them.
correct.
So you're saying that if the guilt phase goes through and they find you guilty, then you have an aggravator phase added to that.
That's what I said.
Okay, hold on one second.
Yeah, why aren't her people telling her this shit?
You have the allegation of aggravating.
Okay.
It was on my desk.
Your Honor, I would just like it to be on the record clear that the Rule 13.5 that I'm talking about is about non-capital cases.
She just said that.
I know in capital cases, they call it a cronus hearing, but this is for non-capital cases.
Ha, ha, ha.
Well, it says
I don't-
under 13.5A, a defendant may challenge the legal sufficiency of the state's allegations by filing a motion under Rule 16. Is that what you're talking about?
Correct.
It doesn't say you get a probable cause hearing regarding the aggravators.
Well, I'm challenging the state's allegation of aggravators by asking for a 13.5 hearing on it.
Right.
So the state's aggravators that they've alleged is that the offense involved the inflicted or threatened infliction of serious physical injury. The offense involved the use, threatened use, or possession of a deadly weapon or dangerous instrument during the commission of the crime, specifically a gun.
Hey, Shabby.
The offense involved the presence of an accomplice. The offense caused physical, emotional, or financial harm to the victim, or if the victim died as a result of the conduct of the defendant, caused emotional or financial harm to the victim's family. The next one is the defendant was previously convicted of a felony within the 10 years immediately preceding the date of the offense. This one's really not very specific. Any other factor that is relevant to the defendant's character or background. So if you were found guilty by a jury of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder, which of these aggravators do you think there's not legal sufficiency for a jury to determine? Because they seem pretty inherent in the charge itself, except for your prior convictions, which, are you saying you don't have the prior convictions within 10 years?
No, I'm not saying that. Which of them don't qualify for the jury to make that
Right.
determination?
No, you're asking for me to make a determination that there's a legal sufficiency for them to go to the jury.
Correct.
So I'm asking you, if you were found guilty by a jury of the charged offense, which of those aggravators that have been alleged by the state do you think there would not be legal sufficiency for? Because as I look at those aggravators, most of them are inherent in what you're being found guilty of. Again, if the jury found you guilty. For example, the first aggravator, it involved the infliction or threatened infliction of serious physical injury. The allegation is someone shot at the victim. That's the threatened infliction of serious physical injury. So it seems like that allegation, there's sufficient evidence for a jury to decide whether that's an aggravator. The next one, the offense involved the use, threatened use, or possession of a deadly weapon or dangerous instrument during the commission of a crime. Again, if you were found guilty of the charge, as the state has alleged, the jury would find that a gun was used. So that's a separate aggravator, again, that would already be determined by the evidence. The state has alleged an accomplice, your brother. If the jury were to find you guilty as charged, again, my understanding of the state's allegation is your brother attempted to shoot Mr. Boudreau. You weren't in Arizona. So if the jury found you guilty of this charge, it would mean they found you guilty as an accomplice. If someone shot at the next aggravator, I don't think it's a leap for a jury to presume there's some sort of emotional harm. So I'm struggling with what legal sufficiency you think is lacking for a jury to make those determinations. Again, only if the jury found you guilty of the charge that you're charged with.
I understand, Your Honor, but in 13.5, right, whether capital or non-capital, the state has the burden to establish probable cause, the legal sufficiency of an amended indictment. This is an amendment. This didn't go to the grand jury. Is that correct?
Right.
So now I have the right to ask for a hearing so the probable cause can be found for these aggravators ahead of time.
So
Okay, Kentucky woman, well, take care. We'll see you again soon, I hope. That's exactly right. That's exactly it. And I didn't understand this either. And I didn't understand it at the end of the trial with Charles Fowler, or her last trial. I didn't understand it either. But the fact is, I'm actually not pretending to be a lawyer. And also, I do understand when he's saying it now. But I don't think she ever gets it, actually. I don't think she ever gets this. That's maybe why you shouldn't represent yourself, you stupid ass. Because you don't know. And I can't stand the way she wants to sit here and go through shit like she does know what she's talking about. So freaking irritating. Look up the law about killing your own kids. See what that says. God.
So you're confusing two things.
Okay.
All right. 13.5b talks about amending the charge or the indictment.
Mhm.
Okay. Your charge is conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. It's not, your charge is not being amended. The grand jury did find probable cause for.
Hey, Faith. Lori Vallow Daybell. Hooker, killer, bitch. Listen, you got here just in time. She's getting ready to really go after it with this judge. Let me tell you. I miss you too, Faith. I haven't seen you forever. Yeah, she's getting ready to really show her ass.
That charge.
Correct.
An aggravator is not an amendment to the indictment.
It's a whole nother allegation. It's a whole separate allegation.
Difference between an aggravator and changing the charge that you're charged with. If the state were to change the charge that you're charged with, for example, if they changed it from conspiracy to commit first-degree murder to conspiracy to commit second-degree murder, there'd probably need to be a new probable cause.
Correct.
Secondly, as to the allegation that it's a dangerous offense, the grand jury did make that finding because that allegation was included in the indictment that it was a dangerous offense. So there has been probable cause as to the dangerous factor.
Okay, if that is the case, then why isn't that found in the original guilt phase as opposed to having a whole nother aggravation phase after that, as if it's a capital offense? Because there's one statute,
Well,
there's one sentence, there's no arguing the sentence, and if it's already a dangerous crime, then there's no reason to have an aggravator phase.
What do you mean there's no arguing and there's one sentence? I don't understand what you're saying.
There's one sentence for
Oh,
the charge. There's only one sentence for this charge. And if it's already classified as a dangerous charge is what you're telling me, right? Because it's conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. That's a dangerous charge. The jury has already found that it's a dangerous charge. Then what is the aggravator phase finding? If it's already a dangerous charge and there's only one sentence.
does the state want to respond why the state wants to proceed with aggravating?
Really quick, I want to tell you, the reason she does not want that aggravating phase to happen, sorry, that is when the victims get to speak. That is exactly her problem with this. She does not want them to speak. That's why last time she just went with all that, because she does not want them to talk. She doesn't want to have to be faced with the people she has done these things to. Yep, that's the problem. That's what it is. See, she doesn't want that belt. She doesn't want those people talking, have to be faced with that. Because this is all ridiculous, completely ridiculous. Hey, let them, good to see you. Oh, I love that, Faith. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's what it is, Cecilian. That's exactly what it is. And she goes so hard on this. Oh, my God. And I think they have every right to say that. They have every right to get to speak to her. That actually makes me mad. Because remember last time, the family was all set to be able to, they were going to be able to give their to speak. Nope. And she can't stand that. She cannot stand it. No, I just get to go kill everybody, but you guys don't get to say shit to me. Oh, it's so frustrating.
Aggravators.
To start with, the jury is not going to make a finding of dangerousness as part of the guilt phase per case law. That's not permitted. So the jury has to make a separate independent finding after they find the defendant guilty. The dangerous finding will include the use of a weapon and or the intentional infliction of or threatened infliction of physical injury. So at the very least, the jury has to make a finding as to dangerousness.
I agree about dangerousness. I guess the question is, why does the state want to prove up aggravators if the jury finds the defendant guilty of the charge as a dangerous offense, given the sentence?
Your Honor, in all honesty, you could ask me this, 10 years ago before Blakely was put out. As case law changes on appeals, I've had to come back before and redo a penalty phase, an aggravation phase, and re-impanel a jury. So I prefer to, since we're already going to have an aggravation phase for the dangerous allegation, to add on the other factors, and therefore I don't have to ever worry about this coming back on appeal later.
All right.
How is it not already found to be dangerous? You just said that if they find me guilty, then it will be dangerous.
I did say that. I said if they find you guilty, then they make a determination whether or not it's dangerous. Now, I think what I meant was when a crime involving a weapon is used, whether it's a gun, usually it's sort of a foregone conclusion that if the jury found you guilty of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder by someone shooting at another individual, that they're 99.9% likely to find that it was a dangerous offense. But it's something the jury has to do.
Right, but usually aren't aggravators for sentencing? What other purpose does it serve in this case with this charge, with one statute? You can't give me less time, you can't give me more time, you can't do anything else except for, it's one statute.
I guess the prosecutor's saying she wants to cover her bases in case there's some change in the law and what a jury has to find or not find for purposes of sentencing. And they have the right to proceed with aggravators. All right, you're right in that if you're found guilty of this charge at this level, you get one sentence. But who knows what a court of appeals would do in the future if aggravators or things weren't presented. I don't know that what would be presented at a sentencing phase from your side or from the state's side, but it sounds like the prosecutor's wanting to cover her bases.
So then I'm not entitled to a hearing before trial starts to find probable cause for these aggravators that were not taken to the grand jury initially?
All right,
I'm asking.
I'm trying to explain it to you. The jury did find probable cause that this was a dangerous offense. It's included in your indictment. So they did find.
They didn't find these specific aggravators. being a dangerous offense
Right.
and
Can
these specific
I finish
aggravators
what I
are
said,
different,
what I was saying?
right?
I didn't interrupt you. Can I finish? Okay. The jury did find probable cause on the dangerous allegation. All right. You're not entitled to a probable cause hearing on the other aggravators.
When is conspiracy to commit murder not a dangerous crime?
When someone says they're going to choke someone to death and they don't actually do it, it's not a dangerous crime.
So,
No dangerous instrument or deadly weapon was used.
so because some instrument may or may not have been used in this crime, it's considered a dangerous crime?
See, did you hear that? Okay. Remember, you guys, the motion she filed last week about not having that window for her people to examine. Yeah, and then she just said instrument may or may not have. So I think we can get an idea where she's going to go in this trial. Because she's really kind of insinuated that he wasn't actually shot at. That's what I believe she's going to do. This instrument may or may not have been used.
Right.
And these aggravators that talk about something totally different don't have to be found after that it's found a dangerous crime?
Correct.
And that is supported by case law?
Yes.
So that what? When you go to appeal, you can't say it was a non-dangerous crime?
All right. I don't know what to tell you. All right. There was a case that came out about 15 to 20 years ago now called Blakely that said a jury had to determine aggravating factors. Okay. Before that, a judge determined aggravating factors at sentencing. Now a jury has to determine it. The reason it's not done in the guilt phase is we don't want the jury to confuse the issues. We want the jury to decide first whether someone's guilty or not guilty, whether the state has proved its burden beyond a reasonable doubt. We don't want them to start thinking about other things like aggravators if they have questions about whether or not the person's even guilty. It tends to confuse the jury and confuse the issues for them. So that's why we do the aggravators in a separate hearing. First, you want to make sure the state has proved its burden beyond a reasonable doubt as to your charge.
But these specific aggravators that they allege, right, the ones that you just went over, you're saying that now after you found guilty of a dangerous crime, that they're going to go back in, and what is the purpose of that? How does it change anything after that?
I don't know how else to explain it to you. So do you have other issues that you want to bring up today?
Yes, but I would like to finish first. So are you denying my motion to have a hearing on this?
I'm denying your motion to have a probable cause hearing as to the state's alleged aggravators.
Okay, so you're denying my motion to have a 13.5 hearing on these alleged aggravators
Correct,
before trial starts.
because you're not entitled to one.
You're not entitled.
Okay,
13.5 says that you're entitled to a probable cause hearing if they amend or change the indictment.
this is not an amendment of the indictment?
It's not. There's a difference
It's an
between,
extension of the indictment. It's not in the indictment.
it's a difference, okay, between an aggravator and changing the charge that you're charged with. Changing the charge that you're charged with is an amendment to the indictment. For example, if you were just charged with conspiracy to commit first-degree murder, all right, but the state didn't allege with the grand jury that it was a dangerous offense, you'd be entitled to a probable cause hearing as to that dangerous allegation because it's changing the charge and it's changing the sentence that you would be getting. These
But that's
aggravators,
exactly my point. How after the fact, these aggravators, if they're found, what do they do to change the charge or change the sentence or change anything?
probably nothing in reality. You just said it. They don't change the charge. So you're not entitled to a probable cause hearing.
Okay, then I don't want to have an aggravation phase either.
Well, you can
How
not.
are you entitled to that? And I'm not entitled to a hearing on probable cause, but you're entitled to have an aggravation phase.
Okay. Well, if you don't want to attend, you don't have to attend. What else?
See, if you don't want to attend, now she's going to drop it because she doesn't want to. That's what she doesn't want. Oh my God. Right? Let them, I know. Can you imagine the patience you have to have with this stupid twit? It's unbelievable. I know. I love that. I love that. Next. Hey, Jonathan. I know it's so frustrating. Like she just, oh my Lanta. Jeez. But see, you don't have to attend. She does not want to be faced with her victims. That's it. That's what her, because this is all ridiculous. It's completely ridiculous. Oh, yeah, he definitely exercises some patience that I do not have. I don't have the kind of patience for this bitch. Not at all.
All right. Something dealing with trial is that I've asked several times for headsets for my advisory council. I know that's been an issue that you said we can only have 5 headsets. Is there some way we can do that? Because it's very difficult for them to advise me on things when they kind of don't know what's going on.
If you need a break to consult with your advisory council, we can do that. I can only give so many headsets.
You said you were going to check into that. Is that something that
They
you did
said
check into and
they
there's no
can't-
more available headsets?
They can't do more than 5 on that particular system or network that they have. I need my court reporter to have one so we can do the sidebars. The state's only getting 1. I get 1, so that leaves 2 for you. Whoever you want to have besides yourself, you can choose one of your advisory council or your paralegal.
But you're forcing me to choose between the people that are helping me?
Sure.
Okay.
Technically, I don't know I even have to do that.
Did you love that? Sure. That was awesome. Oh shit. Oh, that was one of my favorite things.
Present yourself. You're considered your own attorney. You don't even have the right, the right to consult. I shouldn't say that. You have the right to consult with them, but it's not a necessary thing because you are acting as your own attorney. You're expected to
Yep.
proceed as your own attorney. They don't have an affirmative duty to even give you advice under the case law for being an advisory council. The fact that they do is probably helpful to you, okay? But you chose to represent yourself. It means you are supposed to act as your own lawyer.
You appointed them and assigned them to me. I did not ask for them.
Okay, yeah, I did, in case you decided not to represent yourself so they could step in at trial.
Okay, well then it's an alternative that we could do sidebars at the bench so that they could be involved during
I
that
think it
time.
depends on the complexity of the question. If it's a simple jury question that, like, for example, can we have a copy of the police report? The answer to that is always no. So I think I'll have to take it on a question by question and issue by issue basis. So if it's an issue where we need everyone at the bench, yes, we can do that. But if it's a simple, quick response that you can do with the headsets, we'll do that.
Okay. I have one more issue.
Go ahead.
Okay. Seeing as how things went in the last trial, my question is, what does the state intend to bring in from Idaho so that I can prepare my questions without being accused by you of opening the door? How can we avoid that when almost every witness has testified in my Idaho trial? And I don't want to be responsible for doing that. So how?
Oh, Jonathan, it's a whole bunch. Oh, sorry, Queen. Sorry, I didn't see that you. Yeah, she has a trial starting next week for conspiracy to commit. conspiracy to commit premeditated murder, I think is what the actual charge is. You want to know the reason why? Let them, because what she wants is she wants to have this platform so she can make a show. That's what she loves doing. This is the 4th trial in a whole saga of shit that's gone on for 6 years. She already is serving 3 life sentences in Idaho. She was convicted 2 weeks ago of conspiracy, a first-degree murder. And now this is the last one of this whole saga. Her husband is also on death row in Idaho because they're serial killers. There's crazy ass maniacs. Yeah, kind of a cult. Yeah. I think they're liars, but well, I don't know.
How are we going to handle that?
Well, I will tell the prosecutor to make sure a caution is given to each witness that no matter what the question is, that witness should not think it's a question that would require an answer about prior testimony or prior proceedings. State agrees, right?
Yeah, sure.
I guess they can be further advised that if they think you or the state is asking a question that calls for that sort of answer about prior testimony or a prior proceeding, that maybe we should take a break.
Okay.
All right. Anything else?
That was it.
All right. We'll see everyone.
Yeah, no, she wants them. This is her last chance to have a big circus, to get any attention. So, and especially since she's been here, Jonathan, these crimes were committed before the crimes in Idaho. Actually, that's not true. Charles was killed before. That was the first thing to happen. But I think the attempted murder on Brandon was right around the same time as the kids and Tammy were killed. Right around the same time. But Idaho has not allowed her to show her ass or be, interviewed or anything like that. She was extradited back to Phoenix after her trial in Idaho for these crimes. But Arizona's allowing her to show her ass, basically. Like, Arizona allowed her to be on Dateline recently. We played that on my Rumble channel. We watched it together over there. And so Arizona has given her a lot of this kind of stuff. And honestly, in Idaho, she didn't even try to defend herself. I don't know what the hell all that was about. She really didn't try very hard to defend herself. But, and she didn't speak at all. Nothing. And she came here and now she's had several interviews. She's defending herself so she can be out here making a big stink. And it's really sad because there are so many victims that have to just watch this circus. Oh, what? Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I didn't see that, Jonathan. Yeah. Yeah, they do. They call her cult mom. That's what Nancy Grace calls her. I kind of say it that way because um, she, I don't believe it was ever, I don't believe they ever really, her or her husband believed the religious things that they spouted. I don't think they believed them. I think it was just all about money. They killed everybody for money. That's what I believe. Wait, what? You just pulled that. Yeah, that is my belief that she just they killed people for money. They had some big story about going to, you know, I don't know, managing everything after in some apocalyptic situation or whatever. I don't know. I don't even know what the hell they thought acted like they were going to do. There's nothing godly about killing people. So I don't buy into that nonsense. Oh, yes, we're very happy to have Jonathan here, to have everybody here. I love you guys being here. I love talking about this. Because as much as she thinks, I mean, I'm right here in the same where, I mean, it takes me 20 minutes to get to the courthouse where all this circus is going on. And a lot of people I talk to around here actually don't have any idea who she is. She thinks everybody knows who she is and she wants everybody to know, but not everybody really does know who she is. She is a disgusting human being. She is. Yep, she absolutely is. Look at that face. Ugh. Could just. But yeah, you probably did even see, like, there have been Netflix specials and shit. I know. See, it's so. You would think that she couldn't even show her face after the thing she's done. And if when you think about um there was a jailhouse phone call with her oldest son, and he's sobbing and saying, you killed my whole family, you killed everybody. And she's laughing. She laughs. I mean, it's just really unbelievable that she can be so vile, so heartless. And then you get up here, like you said, get up here and look at this smirk and look at this, I'm not being treated right. And I don't want to wear this belt. Like, I'm not a convicted killer. Yeah, she has 3 life sentences in Idaho. She's already been sentenced to. Yep. She hasn't been sentenced yet for the one she was convicted of here in Phoenix 2 weeks ago. They're waiting for the end of this one. But she will serve Idaho first. Oh, thank you, Queen. Yes. Her son, Colby Ryan, has a channel. And honestly, his channel really does show a lot of his healing from this, because this has been very difficult, obviously. And so everybody that they killed were people that her husband, which was her boyfriend at the time, he had some kind of communication with God, and he would be told when people were considered dark, which would become zombies. So those people would always have to be killed. So a lot of people have speculated the only reason that her oldest son, Colby, was never considered dark, because they were never going to get money from him. Because conveniently, everybody that was dark and had to die were people that were in their way, and also they would benefit financially from. It's really horrible. And I mean, the fact is, her parents, or her children were found, their remains were found on her husband's property and dismembered, burned. It was horrible. Her daughter, they've still never even been able to determine a cause of death, the shape these remains were in. So it's horrible. It really is. And so to see her here showing her ass is just so frustrating. And she has a right to do it, though. She has every right to do it. I have a really hard time anytime I see anybody defending themselves, because it's always a shit show. I mean, I know a lot of us remember, Darrell Brooks was fairly recently. And what a shit show that was, right? I remember Colin Ferguson many, many years ago defending himself. And they just make a mockery of it. They make a complete mockery of killing people. And it's so gross. I know it does, right? It does. Wait, hold on a second. What are you talking? They ate her daughter. What are you talking about? Tough, what in the world are you saying? Right? I don't know. I never heard that, Tough. I don't know anything. I don't know about that. I don't know that any. Tylee's remains were very, like I said, they never determined a cause of death. Have you, Jerry? Really? Oh my God. I've never heard that. I don't. Yeah, right, Top Hats. You're right. She does. She actually does show people more and more how horrible she is. That's what she's actually doing. For whatever reason, she doesn't see it that way. I understand. But she thinks she's the smartest person in the room all the time. She always does. She thinks she's so damn smart. And it's just so. Why did. Yeah, I never heard that. I never heard that. And I don't think, I mean, I don't think I believe that. She kept herself she kept a distance from a lot of this. Wow, tough. Right. Yeah, I don't know who said that, tough. I don't know that it's I she's been very good about trying to keep her hands clean. Okay, are you not feeling any better, Jerry? What the hell? Yeah, I have a hard time believing that because that sounds just wow. Oh, okay, good. Yikes. Yeah, I haven't heard that. I'm going to go with it's not true because I don't need any more in my head on that. I mean, it's been horrible enough. Like, ugh. I mean, there's really nothing that I wouldn't believe that she would do. But again, she kept a distance from a lot of this. So you're tired too. Yeah. I actually slept in today. We took the kids to the pool yesterday and we're out in the heat and but yeah, I'm really I want Brandon to get justice for what happened to him. That was horrible. And then I want her to go. I want her to go away and I don't ever want to see her on TV again. I don't want to see her anywhere ever again. And the fact is, you know what? Her and Man Tits both, her and her husband. By the way, I call him Man Tits because he's a fucking gross piece of shit. Both of them kept themselves about as far away from it as they possibly could. Because who actually killed everybody is her brother. And he is now dead also. Everybody dies around these people. If they can provide money for someone. Because we don't talk about, because she's never been charged with, nothing's ever happened with her ex-husband dying suspiciously a year before her other ex-husband. Oh my God. See, it's hard. It's a lot. It's a lot. But Joseph Ryan died pretty suspiciously, and she did benefit financially from that as well. A year before Charles. Yeah, this is a lot. There is so much to this shit. The trials they put on in Idaho were, that was a lot. And I still feel very strongly that those very possibly would not have happened had Arizona not let her get by with this shit with Charles. Yeah, me too, Sicilian, right? So many times that shit works out for people. I'm so glad it didn't. Yeah, it is. It is a whole lot. It is so much. Let them. We have done. So her trial in Idaho was not streamed. It was only audio, and so they would do it at night after the whole day was. They would release an audio. So we did go through that, and then the following year was her husband. His trial was streamed. So we did stream that last year. And then, which, like I said, he was sentenced to death. So then this year in Arizona, it's these two. So in Idaho, they were convicted of killing her two of her children, JJ and Tylee, and her husband's wife. They were both married when they got together, when they killed both their spouses. So they were convicted of killing his wife in Idaho and two of her kids. Her oldest is Colby, Colby Ryan, and he's alive. He has 3 kids. He's doing as well as could be expected. And then, so after they killed all these people, they tried to kill Brandon. This is the trial coming up. They shot at him and missed just by a tiny bit. They almost got him. And that was her nephew, her niece's husband at the time. Again, her niece was involved in this little cult. So that was going to get them $1 million also. But they missed. It's crazy. It's a lot. It's so crazy. I let them on Netflix. Yep. It's called Sins of Our Mother. Yep. Yeah, it's so much. So after her brother killed all these people for them, because, God told him everything. And so then he dies mysteriously. It's super crazy. I believe in Idaho, they said that they all of the Everything they had for that case was more terabytes than the Library of Congress. Yeah, right. Yeah, let them. Her brother, the one that actually was the hitman, he lived right by Queen. I live in the same town that her husband was killed in. Right. Top out. Exactly. Yes. And that's what's so crazy. This has gone on for so many years. And that's what's weird, that like, even when I sat in the courtroom and I'm like right there by her and I'm looking at her, and I just want to flicker, and I'm so annoyed with her. And then I think, oh my God, I'm this close to like more evil than I've ever known of. Right. There's no doubt that Queen very possibly was in the same grocery store as him, at the same gas station. You don't know when you're, like I always say, statistically, we all know a pedophile. We have to, because statistics say that. I don't know. I'm pretty sure we don't all know a serial killer, but you don't know. Yep. And you know what's funny? Queen and I drove around to all the places, to the house that Charles was killed. We went to the house where Brandon was shot, to the church. We drove around to all the places. Queen, at the time, little did we know, we didn't go by Alex's house. Yeah. You know, where she was like, hi, neighbors. She just thinks she's so cute. She does shit like this while someone's just been killed in her. Normal people don't act like that. Like I said, if it was an animal dead in my house, I'm not going to giggle. If it was a stranger, no matter, nothing, nobody, nothing dead inside my house right now is going to make me think anything's funny. Yeah, I've gone to, oh my God, I think 2 hearings. I've gone to, I went one day to the, to jury selection. There wasn't room. And then I went to one day of the trial last time, which was like the best day, because her brother testified against her and the victim's sister. It was actually really sad, but oh, thank you. You guys are awesome. 5 miles from, oh my God, are you serious, Cillian? Ooh. That's got to be a house that's really hard to look at. Did you drive by there? You had to have, right? You know what, though, you guys, I've actually never driven by Travis Alexander's house here. I used to live probably 5 minutes from it. Oh, you're so funny. Yeah, you don't know. Oh, they demolished. Yeah, I'm glad they did. Right, Queen? We should go check that out. I don't know if you guys all heard of Jodi Arias. That happened here too. That's another real whack job. I just looked up her her inmate status for just shits a couple weeks ago. Because she, just like her new jobs and weird shit like that. I know, right? Jodi Arias is a complete nut job. I mean, that girl, she's crazy. That I feel like she might have worn a diaper or something, because she did fill up gas cans so she wouldn't have to stop and get gas to haul her ass over here and kill him. Ugh. Yeah, we do have the Preston Lord case coming up. Yep. I just made us shirts for Preston Lord. And there was a hearing today in that matter as well. Better be nice to us, right? It's scary because, and what's really wild is, see, Lori thinks that everybody around here just, cares so much about her. And like I've mentioned, we actually currently have a person on trial at this very moment, a serial killer trial going on in Phoenix as well. And I will tell you that every single day, somebody is shot in Phoenix, at least one person. Oh, she is such a nurse. Absolutely. Yep, she 100% is. Yep. She's been able to manipulate people so much in her life. And it's worked out really well for her, I believe, it appears. Like I was saying, she moved around a lot. She was married. She's been married 5 times. She was moved around a lot. She moved from, well, I don't know. She was in California, Texas, Arizona, and Hawaii mostly is where she's lived. And sometimes she moved back. Like, I know she lived in Arizona at least 2 different times. But every time, her son just said they never packed up their things and moved them with them. They threw everything away, their furniture, TV, everything, and just got new. Who does this? The mass murder case, which I don't know which one you're talking about. The serial killer, because I didn't even know about it. Honestly, I mean, that's what I'm saying. For her to think she can't get a fair jury, she can. Like, I didn't even know there was a serial killer trial going on. I didn't even realize it. I know we've had a couple serial killers here, No, when I think about times when I'm like, shit, we got rid of that coffee maker, we got rid of this, I hate that I've wasted money on shit. Can you imagine throwing every damn thing you own out? Who gets to live like that? And this is a thing. She would marry men that would just really dote on her. That's what she loves. Because her two husbands prior to this one that's on death row, the two prior to that, one of them died in natural causes. She was a beneficiary in that. They were divorced at the time. She was a beneficiary, and her daughter received monthly benefits from that. Then the one right before that, or the next one, she killed. But these guys did whatever she wanted. I want to live in Hawaii. Throw everything in the trash and let's move to Hawaii. Right. I know I actually do not get rid of everything, but sometimes you do get rid of stuff and you're like, damn, if I could have all the money back from all this shit that I have never just thrown everything away. That's crazy as hell. There are several. Oh my God. I know I can't handle wasting stuff. I cannot. I really can't. That drives me nuts. Yeah, did you guys hear that the stuff that they had put in that storage? Those kids, it's so sad. And that's why those kids had to die, because both their fathers were dead and they were receiving monthly benefits. She was supposed to get $1 million when she killed her husband, but he knew some shit was going on. He changed the beneficiary and she didn't get it. What do you mean, huh? Oh, yeah, they were talking about, so part of this trial with Brandon is what we assume will come into play here is the Jeep, right? The Jeep that Tylee, her daughter, was driving, which had been, I want to say, I think that was in Charles' name. Charles was connected to that Jeep somehow. Maybe he got it for her. I don't know. But when Brandon was shot, Tylee was already gone. And that's the vehicle that she used, or that he used, to come here and shoot at him. And then, so they show a video of Lori and Mantitz going to a storage unit where they take off that, like it was a Jeep, so there was a wheel on the back, and they put it in the storage there. So when he's here and that window goes down in the back, and he shoots at him, they can show right around that same time as when they took that wheel off and put it in that storage unit. But when they left, and they left for good, the kids' stuff in that storage unit, it's really sad. It's a lot. Oh my God. There's like pictures. Like blankets with all their pictures and stuff on it. Yeah. Yeah, there's video of inside there of the kids' stuff. Hey, freaking. Can't handle trial today. Yeah, we just went over some hearings where she got very spicy, I guess. So, right, Sicilian. Yeah, it's oh my God, it breaks your heart. Like she just didn't, she cannot care about anybody or anything. I don't think she's capable, because I don't know how, like I said, you couldn't do this to a stranger, to an animal. You just could not do these things. And she's done them to her own kids. Oh, you know what? We're going to a retirement party tomorrow. I know. I was just gonna say, I feel like doing that. Try me. I was gonna say, do we feel like doing some fun stuff over on Rumble? Yeah, when we sing, when we play music and sing, we that's our microphone. Wooden spoons. Yeah, I know. We should do something fun. So I was telling, I know I told Queen and Top Hats that we saw an old friend of ours showed up at our door the other day that we haven't seen for many years. And you guys should have seen. Jack cracks me up. Jack went up and just hugged him really tight, like he totally knew him. So funny. Your mother-in-law is known for wooden spoons and path. Oh, yeah. I remember those back in the day. Yep. Yeah, we use them for our microphones. And also the birds are really, really getting ready to, oh my gosh. They're getting so close, you guys. I used a hairbrush for a paddle and also a and a microphone, I feel. Yeah, I know, Top Hat. And I totally get what you're saying. Like, I'm glad. Just a mic. I remember I think it was one of my cousins would always have just fits about getting her hair brushed. So, and I could not, I was so young, but I kind of remember like my aunt smacking her in the head with like, remember we used to have some pretty shitty brushes actually to brush our hair. But it never hurt me to have my hair brushed. That's why when you would get in fights and people would pull my hair, I was like, that doesn't bother me at all. You know, I heard somebody bring up today that maybe that was the same gun that shot at Brandon the one time they shot at Tammy and missed. Or no, the gun jammed. Yes. Yeah, yes. Freaking, they were not helpful. And you know what? Those brushes like cause, to me, they cause like static, and we've come a long way with hairbrushes, I gotta say. Oh shit. Oh my God, freaking. Oh my God. I feel like everybody's had that happen, but I don't remember trying to get it out. Oh my God. Oh my God. I know the old brushes, they did. They would literally just be stuck in your damn head. Oh my God, freaking. I feel like everybody did that at one time. Yeah, peanut butter would get gum out. Remember, because we always had gum in our hair too. Yep, that's what we did. I remember using that. Ice and peanut butter to get gum out of your hair. Oh my God. You would do, oh my God, I totally remember that. Like just walking around and then there's this damn hairbrush stuck in your hair. Just screaming, trying to pull it out. Did you ever do that, Queen? Did you ever get hairbrushes stuck in there? It's so funny. I know. That was too funny. Oh wait. What did I do? Oh, top hats. You know what? That video you sent me, I meant to tell you, it says not available. Sunny is so close though. Oh my gosh. Okay, we're gonna plan a party on Rumble. We're gonna plan to go there and have fun. Let me see if I can. Sunny just is really flapping like mad over there at the end of that branch. A lot lately. Yeah. When I pull it up, it says not available. Okay, yeah, we're gonna set up, we're gonna get that. Yeah, let me see. See, look. Look. I don't know why. Okay, I was gonna say I went to go look for that today and then I got distracted. Yeah, there's the Rumble channel. I'm gonna set up a fun night. We can sing, we can do karaoke, we can do whatever we want. Over there. Over there. Okay. Okay. I found it. See? Okay, you guys, check this out. Oh my goodness. Yeah, yesterday I left with the kids. When we got home, Mr. Snotty said, he's like, literally 10 seconds after you left, Sonny did this and went to go thought about going to catch me. But yeah, you guys, look at what happened yesterday. God. I know, right? So close. So close. Oh, look at that. Look. Oh my God. I know. I know. It's so scary. Right. I know. I want to see that again. Oh, look. Oh my God. Oh my God. Ah. Look at that spread. Oh my God, it's just amazing. Yeah, it is. Look at Gizmo, just so unaffected. Right. Yes. That span is just crazy. They were just little teeny tiny fuzzy little babies. Oh my Lantis. Whew. Makes your heart just. I know, flying back. Yeah, the wind just knocked him back in there. He was going. He was. Oh. Just going to be so sick to watch this. I really do want to watch it on replay, though. I do think, because I just don't know if I can take it. I don't know if I can take it. Oh, goodness. Okay, I'll go set up things at Rumble. So what do you guys say about, and what time? Give it an hour, hour and a half? What do you think? 7? Okay. I'll put up a post and put the links. Ten minutes. Yeah, I need to get a couple things done. Okay, I'll get it set up and get it going. And then whenever everybody can join. All right, I'm going to end this and get that all ready. And thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate you. I love you. And I will see you in a little bit. Bye.